Less than 3 weeks now after the precarious ceasefire came into effect, Israel has launched airstrikes on Gaza, killing, at latest count, 104 people. That's according to local hospitals. The strikes follow an order from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu after Israel accused Hamas of violating the ceasefire and killing an IDF soldier. For more on this unfolding story, we're joined this morning by retired Major General David Fraser, CTV News military expert. Good morning. I guess my first question is there even still a ceasefire in place if we're now looking at deadly airstrikes?
Well, there's a remnant of a ceasefire, but, United States leadership, the president, the vice president are working hard to try to say there is. At the same time, we have, incidents on the ground, which we should expect. But when the prime minister orders an attack, and in many ways is disproportionate to what was happening on the ground, it really does put into question, what do we have in the way of a ceasefire?
Yeah, you mentioned the president. President Trump has said that nothing would jeopardize this ceasefire. He also said that...
Except for the fact that Israel has broken every single ceasefire that has ever been signed with Palestine. So this is why nobody was like, no pro-Palestinian person was cheering and for the ceasefire because we knew it was fucking bullshit.
That Israel should strike back if they are struck. So with both sides continuing to accuse one another of violating this...
By the way, Israel's accused Hamas of violating the ceasefire one time, maybe, and I highly doubt that's true because all they do is fucking lie. They have broken the ceasefire dozens of times, over 50 now, I believe. So I don't understand how we're still looking at this like it's both sides of the equation that are the issue. It's not. It's one entity committing a genocide.
Truce. Where does it leave a state of negotiations right now?
Well, first of all, President Trump wants nothing to disrail what he is going to use for his Nobel Peace aspirations, that he stopped yet another war. But at the same time...
He has stopped none, by the way. Zero. There have been 0 wars stopped by Donald Trump. 0.
When you squeeze as many people into Gaza as they are now, with the Israelis behind that yellow line, there are going to be incidents. And these should be done and handled at the lowest level. But the Prime Minister of Israel certainly is making this difficult for the United States, for the Gazans, and, quite frankly, for the IDF. So this really does put into jeopardy the longevity of a ceasefire.
David, you said that there are remnants of a ceasefire left in place. What is still holding? What is still in place?
The intent that, the Israelis have pulled back past the yellow line, the fact that, we're still talking about a ceasefire, but every day the escalation of violence, and, this is going to escalate tensions and whatnot. This is making the ceasefire more and more tenuous every day.
Palestinians have been returning home for weeks now. One of the charities on the ground, Save the Children, commented that the ceasefire was supposed to mean safety and relief and the beginning of recovery, but instead there's this ever-present fear that a hit could come when they're not aware. How does this latest strike change things on the ground? I mean, intent doesn't provide relief or recovery.
Exactly, because what we should be hearing and seeing is aid trucks going in huge numbers, 600 plus a day. We should be seeing and hearing about more talks about the next phase of the ceasefire, and we're not seeing any of that.
On that note, Israel literally said, they came out in a statement and said that they will have to approve the international forces that are allowed into Gaza. Which, it's just foreign, it's just aid, food, medical supplies, things that they need to literally just survive. And Israel's like, no, we need to sit and approve who is allowed in, which is complete and utter bullshit.
What we're
stopping aid in a crisis is a war crime. Benjamin Netanyahu is a fucking war criminal. And that's not up for debate. It's been decided by the ICC. So if you see anybody saying unable to answer that fucking question, like Senator Cory Booker, you know that he's full of shit.
Seeing is, the focus on, attacks on the ground, disproportionate responses by the Israelis against these things, and just, the raising of political rhetoric that, the United States has to keep going out and defending that there is a ceasefire. These are not good signs. We should be seeing talks about how far the negotiations are, not that the fact that we still have a ceasefire after killings like what we just talked about.
Using your expert eyes on what's happening in the ground, does it look any different right now between what it did before the ceasefire and what we're seeing even this morning?
Well, it does to me. I mean, in the sense that, there isn't as much fighting. And so that's the good news. That the fact that we do have a ceasefire that was agreed to, and that the fact that there is some humanitarian aid going in, but it's just the political rhetoric that that is not ratcheting down, but it seems to be ratcheting up, and that's really disconcerting.
Retired Major General David Fraser, our CTV News military expert. Great to have you on this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, as Israel is committing and continuing to commit this genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza, I want to point out who exactly is taking money from the lobbies that are fighting for Israel to be able to commit this genocide because they think it's just and fair. So let's go here. This is Track AIPAC, or the AIPAC Tracker. I would like to go through it with you. Let's go to the Hall of Shame, the AIPAC Hall of Shame. 81 members, 15% of the current U.S. Congress have AIPAC as their all-time top contributor. That is not even, that's 81 members that have them as their all-time top contributor. 15%. That's not including all of the people that have other donors that donate to them more, but they still take AIPAC money. So you can go through, and I implore everybody to go look at this website. It's great. U.S. Senator Jackie Rosen. Look at that. Leader of the House. Minority House Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Or Minority House Speaker. All-time top donor. AIPAC. Israel lobby total 1.6 million. 1,635,000. Sorry. 1,635,000. $1.6 million he's taken from the Israel lobby, the pro-Israel lobby. Oh, look at who it is. Richie Torres. He recently had, I think it was a little while ago now, he had an interview with Adam Friedland, and Richie literally had to run out because he has no humanity, he has no soul, because he has taken $1.5 million from AIPAC. $1,528,000 he has taken from AIPAC, a pro-Israel lobby group supporting a genocide. So he is a genocide supporter. He doesn't care about brown kids. He himself is a black man and doesn't advocate for other people of color. He sells his soul to the white man. Oh, look who it is. Speaker of the House Majority. Little Moses Mike Johnson. So, in any other country, in any other, just logically, you have the House Minority Speaker, Hakeem Jeffries, and the House Majority Speaker, Mike Johnson. They are literally they are the leader of the opposition in the House and the leader of the majority. So they're literally opposing. Don't you think that their all-time top donors should probably be different? No? Oh, right. This goes to show just how compromised Hakeem Jeffries is. He needs to step down months ago. There is no reason this motherfucker should be anywhere near fucking Congress. He's a piece of shit. Let's click on Mike Johnson. His all-time top donor, AIPAC. Total $898,000. And the list goes on and on and on. It's just freaking disgusting. And a lot of these people happen to be Democrats. Democrats are supposed to be the anti-war, pro-peace party, but here they are taking money from genocide. They're genocide supporters, and their voting records will go along with that because they are beholden to these donors that give them hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. So let's go to the 2028 presidential candidates. Oh, look who it is. Cory Booker. He has taken $871,000. Oh, Pete Buttigieg has taken almost $200,000. $191,000. And this candidate is pro-Israel. Rahm Emanuel. That bitch ass. He better not fucking run for fucking... I fucking hate that asshole. He's taken $235,000. Kamala Harris has taken $9 million. $9 million. And 400,000. $9.4 million she's taken from Israel. So, if you were ever wondering, if you weren't in the know and you saw those pro-Palestine protesters on the campaign trails, probably because she's taken $9 million from the pro-Israel, pro-genocide PAC. Gavin Newsom, lobby total to be decided. This candidate is pro-Israel, though. Ro Khanna, he has very recently became pro-Palestine. So they encourage this representative to continue improving their legislative record on Israel-Palestine issues. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, this representative has a strong legislative record on Israel-Palestine issues. And she rejects Israel lobby contributions. Good for her. J.B. Pritzker, lobby total to be decided. This candidate is a former AIPAC board member. Josh Shapiro, this candidate is pro-Israel, lobby total TBD. Tim Walz, this candidate is pro-Israel, lobby total TBD. And Gretchen Whitmer, $250,000. Fuck. And they even have, you can go through and look through every single state at who is taking money, who doesn't take money. I highly suggest you go and look, especially if you're American and you are wondering about your representatives. And they even have a section for candidates for Congress, people who are running. And while we're on the topic, I would like to go and talk about some of the Canadian politicians who have taken this. This particular article is about people who have taken CIJA, which is basically our version of the of AIPAC. It's the Canadian version of AIPAC. Basically, there's on readthemaple.com CIJA trips. You can look and see all of the current MPs that have taken Canadian AIPAC sponsored trips to Israel, and it goes down the list. A few I noticed was Don Davies. Don Davies from Vancouver. He is NDP. He's literally the interim leader of the NDP right now, and he took a state-sponsored trip to Israel, the genocide colonial settler state. Interesting. Also, the mayor of my city, Andy Fillmore, Halifax, Nova Scotia, in 2016, which is great. So I just want, like, to juxtapose what is going on in Gaza right now with the amount of money and how beholden these people are to these pacts that are pro-genocide, pro-death. Like, that's what it is. They're pro-death, pro-genocide. That is the last thing that a politician in a democracy should be. And for these people to act as if they are any moral authority on anything is fucking laughable. All right. Have a good night.